Hello everyone, it's Imran here. Welcome back to another video. So I'm going to react to another audio Thomas and Friends audio story by Kiefer Adams. This is episode 3 of season 6 of his audio stories, which this one is called Harold's Idol. That was uploaded over a month ago on September 8th. I did react to the Frog and Toad one last time. You want to see me check that out, have it up in the top right corner of your screen. I know I've fallen behind on, season 6 of Kiefer's audio stories. A lot of you guys are like, where are the Kiefer Adams audio stories reactions? Because Kiefer's been uploading two audio story. He's at the weekend, obviously, but obviously I've been busy with college and other stuff. I'm off until the end of next week now, so hopefully I'll have a lot of time to make more videos. So what I'm probably going to do is that I'm probably going to react, in order for me to catch up on this series, I'm probably going to react to two audio stories a day whenever I'm able to get the chance. So I'm going to do Harold's Idol now, then straight after this video, Harold's Idol, I'll do the next one, chimes the charm is so, because I think episode 5, I think there'll be 16 audio stories in total. The final one's actually due out this weekend. Keith actually plans to release the final season 6 audio story this weekend. He does, so I'll probably that would mean it totaled 16. So that means I'll do two at a time. Two in a day. I will. So I'm going to start off with Harold's Idol. As you can see right here, I really enjoyed the last audio story, Frog and Toad. It was probably one of the funniest audio stories that Kiefer has done. And yeah, that's basically all I've got to say. Link to the video I'm reacting to in the description down below as always. So without further ado, I'll just go ahead and get straight into this.
Harold's Idol. Written and told by Kiefer Adams.
I love these audio stories by Kiefer.
For many years on the island of Sodor, the engines have relied on Harold the helicopter to help them out with emergencies and important missions. Engines like Percy looked up to Harold. If the mail, for example, was delayed, and Harold should just be passing by, he would be more than happy to help. Harold had worked on the island of Sodor.
As long as Harold doesn't go crashing into a hay, doesn't get his net too heavy and crash into a hay, get caught and gets either stuck in a tree or crash into a hay bale, then that works perfectly.
For a long time, but no one exactly understood why he wanted to be a rescue helicopter in the first place. You would often find Harold resting at Dryall Station on Thomas's branch line. But ever since the Sodor airport had opened, Harold had been there more often. He would often talk to Jeremy, the jet plane, or Rufus, the vehicle that brought the passengers to their planes, all about his adventures.
Rufus?
But one day, Jeremy and Rufus would be in for a surprise. Rufus had brought Jeremy his fuel for his first flight of the day. They couldn't help but notice that Harold was in a particularly good mood. "Something's got you excited," said Rufus. "What's going on, Harold?" "He's coming to Sodor, old chaps," replied Harold grandly. Who's coming to the island?" asked Jeremy.
Glad Kiefer's using Jeremy in his audio stories.
Lionel, of course, replied Harold.
Who?
Jeremy and Rufus looked at each other with confusion. "Who's Lionel?" asked Rufus. "He was the very inspiration that I became a rescue helicopter, old boy," replied Harold. "He's a twin blade."
Hold on, let me just go back and see who his name was right there, because I'm getting a bit confused.
"Rescue helicopter, old boy," replied Harold. "He's a twin inspiration." Me and Rufus looked at each other with confusion. "Who's Lionel?" asked Rufus.
So that's
"He was
his
the
name.
very inspiration that I became a rescue helicopter, old boy," replied Harold. "He's a twin blade. That means he has two sets of propellers. His rescue missions inspired me to do my own, and he's coming to Sodor to do some demonstrations. It'll be so exciting to finally meet him." "Just don't go over the top, Harold," reassured Jeremy. "Some people that idolize others can get a little over the top." "Quite right," agreed Rufus. "In fact, when I first came to the airport, I admired the pair of you. I've calmed down since, of course." "Don't you worry about a thing, old chaps," said Harold. "Lionel will be made especially welcome, not just by us, but everyone on Sodor. Got to go, gentlemen. Duty calls." And with that, Harold took to the air. Rufus and Jeremy were now secretly excited to see what this Lionel could do. Lionel
Oh,
was indeed a majestic
this is
sight.
Lionel right here?
He was a large yellow helicopter, and he had a sliding door on his sides. He
Okay.
also had a huge flashlight on his front. It was much brighter than Harold's. As Harold had said, Lionel had 2 sets of propellers, which meant he could do rescue missions in double the time.
So is Lionel an OC character that Keith has created right here, or is he based off a Thomas toy like how Fred the truck was in the previous audio story? Let me know in the comments down below.
Harold could. Everyone who saw Lionel was amazed by his appearance. He was always willing to demonstrate what he could do and answer any question that came his way. The other engines had to admit, Lionel was going to get on just fine during his stay on Sodor. "What's this I hear about a rescue helicopter?" Molly asked Emily a few days later.
Oh,
"Don't we
Molly.
have Harold?" "Well, of course we do," replied Emily. "But this
And look,
one's
there's
called
Terence as
Lionel.
well.
He's quite unique." "Will we ever see him?" said Molly. Before Emily could reply, a great buzzing sound could be heard from above. "I think you just answered your question," she said. "Look up."
Yep.
Molly did, and sure enough, there was Lionel out on patrol. "Good day, fellow engines," he boomed grandly. "Duty
Good day
calls!"
to you too.
And he was out and
Lionel.
away within moments. The 2 engines giggled to themselves and parted ways shortly afterwards. Meanwhile, Harold was on a mission of his own. He had just brought some supplies to a campsite not far from
Oh, look,
Thomas's
it's
branch
Thomas.
line. As he was getting ready to head home, Thomas came hurrying round the corner. "Harold!" he gasped. "Thank goodness you're here." "Is there a problem, old chap?" asked Harold. "Lionel didn't return to the airport," said Thomas. "The manager has been trying to call his pilot, but they don't know where he is."
Oh dear.
"Lionel must be stranded," gasped Harold. "Leave it to me, Thomas. I'll find him." Harold quickly took to the air as Thomas looked on. Harold searched and searched, and for a while he couldn't find Lionel anywhere. But he soon did. "Over there!" he called to his pilot. Lionel was near a small country road, looking rather sorry for himself, as Harold gently touched down next to him.
What happened to him?
"I say!" Lionel exclaimed. "You're Harold the helicopter. The other engines have spoken very highly of you."
Yeah.
"Oh, have they?" said Harold, but he quickly snapped out of his trance. What seems to be the problem? I was told you needed an emergency." "I ran out of fuel," said Lionel. "I don't know where to get more." "Leave it to me, old chap," replied Harold. "I'll see what I can do." Harold quickly took to the air and came back from the airport moments later. 2 drums of fresh fuel, just right for helicopters, were inserted into Lionel's tanks. "Thank you," said Lionel.
Well
"I
done,
don't know what I
Harold.
would have done without you." "No, thank you," replied Harold. "You were my inspiration and a great idol to me. It's the least I can do."
Yep.
Lionel blushed. "Then I guess you're my inspiration, Harold. Thank you ever so much."
Yep, for getting the
Harold
fuel.
beamed. "Shall we head back to the airport, old boy? There'll be a great crowd to see you." "I wouldn't have it any other way," said Lionel. "Lead the way, Harold." The 2 helicopters were soon back in the sky and making their way to the airport. Harold was beaming brightly. Not only did he get the honour of meeting the one helicopter who inspired him, but now he's more pleased to admit he'd even rescued Lionel as well.
Yep, definitely. Definitely right there. Oh, I didn't know why I did that right there. So there we go. There we go. So yeah, I actually like the fact that this was actually an aerial story rather than it being focused on the railways. It was focused on more on Harold. It was up in the air. It was. Obviously, let me know in the comments down below if Lionel is an OC character or based off a Thomas toy he is. But I really liked how we got a little bit of a backstory of how Harold wanted to become a rescue helicopter he did, and how he managed to meet his idol. I think Rufus is definitely either an OC character or that Kiefer made, or just a what was I gonna say, or just a mhm, or based off a magazine, a character from a magazine story, like a bit of like the cameo by Elizabeth at the beginning, and also like a bit of an appearance of Jeremy right there. Jeremy, many people didn't like him in the hit era, but I believe he could have worked if he had he been given a bit of personality. He is so that's always good to hear. Yeah, very slice of life story. I know a lot of people don't like the hit era, but when you look at stories like these that are actually set within the hit era, because I looked on Kiefer's community post where he talked about what season each of his audio stories set into, this is part of season 10. So I think maybe if we had stories like this in the hit era, actual stories, it probably would have made the hit era even better. I actually have my own vision on how the hit era, on how I would reimagine the hit era. What was I going to say? Hit era, what I would do was that I would keep the episodes that I would like, but I imagine because I'm one of the few defenders of the hit era. I am like the Thomas Cynic, like the Yellow Skirner, whatever you like to call it. I'm one of the few defenders of the hit era, but I do admit there are some flaws, particularly some of the episodes in it. But what I would do was I do have my own vision of how I would do how I would do the hit era, seasons 8 to 12, how I would structure out my opinion. I would obviously keep some of the good episodes on there, but I'd also take it out for some of the fan stories, like Kiefer's ones right here, that I believe fit in the hit era really well. But I probably will share with you on the community tab of my channel. Speaking of the community tab of my channel, I did a post about an AU film, an AU film on there a couple of days ago. If you haven't seen it already, go to the community tab of my channel and let me know what you think of my AU film I've done on the community tab in the comments of that community tab. Would love to see because would love to hear you guys' thoughts on it. Um, but yeah, it was nice that it was both focused on Harold rather than some of the engines it was right there. I'm gonna do three chimes the charm next. Three chimes the charm. I can nearly keep saying three times the charm, but it's three chimes the charm. The next story I'm going to react to, so I'm going to react to that next. So stay tuned for that. But if you do want to see my previous Thomas reactions, whenever it's audio story or trends adaptation, I'll have a playlist up in the top right corner of your screen right now. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button for me. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought of this audio story I reacted to. Also, let me know in the comments down below what other videos you want me to react to next. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok. Links to both of them will be in the description down below. Share this video, subscribe if you're new here, ring that bell to get notified when I upload new videos when I post in the community tab, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!